Hi, I'm Tracy from Hawkesbury City Council, and I run the Bright Ideas to Build Resilience project, funded by Wentworth Healthcare, provider of the Nepean Blue Mountains Primary Health Network. In this film, you'll hear from different community groups, interest groups, sporting clubs, and associations. Each of them had an idea for a project or an activity and sought grant funding or sponsorship to make that idea happen. These are stories of place-based, locally led community initiatives and the outcomes for those groups and the outcomes for the broader community.
Hi, I'm Linda Bracken and I'm with the McDonald Valley Association and I'm the Vice President here in the McDonald Valley near St Albans in the Hawkesbury. So our idea for a grant was a number of things where we look to bring people together. So, as many people in the Hawkesbury have experienced over the last few years, we've done it pretty tough here with the big fires and a number of floods, some of which have almost completely devastated the village here. So our ideas were, what could be some events where we might bring the community together, where we could just relax and enjoy our company with each other rather than talk about flood recovery or bushfire recovery. And so these were just kind of community events where people could come together and have a little bit of fun. So one was a really fabulous picnic down by the river, and it was lovely to spend time down near the river in a way where we could celebrate the beauty of the McDonald River rather than the devastation that the river can bring. The other events, we've had one which was a trivia night, which gets ultra competitive, I have to say, amongst some of the folk in the valley. We're going to have a musical bingo night and another trivia night because I think there's still a few grudges that people are wanting to play out to really become the king of trivia in the valley. But these were events really, they're just kind of in a way an excuse, if you like, to bring people together in a social sense and for people to be able to enjoy each other and enjoy just getting together and relaxing and being able to talk about things other than the things that have been devastating our area over the past few years. The events were made possible because we're able to get some support through Wentworth Health and Hawkesbury Council's Bright Ideas grants. So that enabled us to subsidise the ticket cost for all of these events and be able to get entertainment, for example, musicians to come and play. And so in a way, that was important on a number of levels. So one, it meant that it was accessible for everybody in the valley to be able to come along. The ticket prices were minimal. But also the other part of it was what it indicated to people in the valley, and that was that people cared enough in terms of giving us a grant to support the community. People often talk here that we're the forgotten valley, and what this meant was that people kind of got the feeling that as far as the council were concerned and Wentworth Health, we weren't entirely forgotten. So I think the outcome for the community of these events and future events that we'll be holding is that feeling of community cohesion. It's about getting back on our feet. It's about remembering why we love living in the valley itself. It's about that social aspect that has been kind of lost, I guess, over the past few years with COVID lockdowns, with the fires and with the floods. It's about remembering the wonderful and vibrant community that we have here with all sorts of different people coming together. You've got artists and farmers and retirees and tree changers and all sorts of interesting people have come together here in the valley and formed this really special connection. So these events have been enablers of bringing these people back together in a way where we can enjoy each other's company and remember why we love living here in the first place.
Hi there, I'm Lewis 80. I've lived in the McDonald Valley for about 11 years now, and I'm at the McDonald Valley Association Committee. So right now I'm the subcommittee chair for the Connected and Prepared project. A few years ago, before the bushfires, we set up a project to better connect the valley. Because we don't have any mobile reception and because the landlines don't often work, and because we are such a disparate community over 40 or 50 kilometres with only about 350 people. So we set out to set up a better way of communicating in emergencies.
This network will allow us as wardens in each different area to maintain communications with those that we want to look after make sure that they are aware that they can call for help at any time, and that help will be organised through this communications network.
So the project started with a grant fund of $3,000 from Hawkesbury Council, and that allowed us to start the project going. However, after the bushfire, a bushfire grant became available. We applied for that and we received that grant from the federal government, and that allowed us to create a UHF radio network for the entire valley.
We decided to go with UHF radios, and every single property in the valley, including multi-resident on a single property, has already got a UHF handheld radio. We then have about 22 wardens appointed in the valley at various positions in the valley, so that across the network from the furthest point, both Wollumbai Road and Upper McDonald Road, we can get communication through the St Albans village and bounce that through again by leapfrogging down to Wiseman's Ferry.
This will, for the first time, will allow someone stuck in a property without any access and without any other communication to be able to get the SES or get an ambulance called within seconds, whereas before there was no way of communication for most of the valley. Thanks to the funding that we received, we were also able to provide a grab bag, which is basically a backpack of your most precious item, so that in an emergency event, you just pick up the bag, get in your car and go and evacuate. Now, we've populated that grab bag for people with a first aid kit, a device which is both a torch, an AM radio, and a wind-up USB charge. We also provided orange V-sheets for the helicopters, so if you need to get a helicopter, you can put this sheet out, or you can put the sheet over your balcony for an SES boat or something. We've also provided every property with a unique emergency response plan, which provides unique property information for the property owners or the current residents, which they can then give to emergency services to get access quicker. We're also encouraging everyone to prepare their own ready plan, which is their own personal plan of what they want to take in an emergency, doctor's numbers, medical numbers, and so forth. In addition to providing USB sticks from Peppercorn, where people can put their important documents, like driving licenses, passports, birth certificates, and so forth, to scan those onto a USB stick. So in an emergency, you've got all your vital documents all in that bag.
Hi, I'm Kay Remington, and at the moment I'm representing Music at St Albans.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Van Bilson, and I'm a local community member and a registered music therapist.
Our project is entitled Music at St Albans, and the idea is to bring music to a community that has really suffered. Music is, I think, one of the easiest and closest ways of getting into one's heart and soul. And the community, the idea of this music is it brings people together. It brings the community together. So it's mainly classical music, but really accessible classical music. And often people who don't come to some of the more active activities that have been sponsored will come to this and spend an afternoon listening to beautiful music, and then they'll carry on and go to dinner somewhere or just be together for a while. We've had wonderful support. The local pub, Settlers Arms, has volunteered to provide nibbles and drinks afterwards, so it becomes a bit of a party afterwards, which is fantastic. And you get to meet the musicians and get to understand the world from their point of view. So we've had a series of themes, and we've had 7 concerts. We'll have 7 concerts altogether. At the moment, we've had about 4, I think, and 1 has been a workshop. And so Rebecca's here because she attended the workshop and she could speak about the workshop.
I was a first-time participant at Strings at St Albans. It was a fabulous weekend. Everyone was amazingly supportive and the music was phenomenal. And to have such high calibre music in the valley is just such a fabulous thing.
And we couldn't have done this without a grant from Wentworth Healthcare. They kind of understood how important music is to regenerating people's souls and bringing people together. And this is the kind of music that is really uplifting, I think, really is uplifting. We use local facilities, we've used the local hall, we've used the local church. Everyone in the village has been cooperative, really helping us gain access to things, to places and to food, and it's been a great success. People are starting to look forward to these. Brings people to the valley too, and particularly the workshop. The workshop is now a fixture. This is the 4th time we've run the workshop, and we have about 30 to 40 musicians amateur musicians coming from all over Australia, really. And St Albans is now starting to become a music map. So it's fantastic, yeah.
The other amazing part of Strings at St Albans was we had a very, very special moment. One of our Australian composers, Emma Greenhill, composed a piece specifically for the weekend. She came along and we were honoured to have her perform with us.
And then, believe it or not, because she's a brilliant violinist, she went and played at the pub with some folk musicians. It was brilliant. Something like this is really important for a community like this. Even though we're not that far from Sydney, we are really, really isolated. And people need access to the arts. That's really important. We know that. We know how important that is. But more than that, it stimulates the community. So we have people come here, they eat here, they stay overnight, they stay in B&Bs. So events like this are important for regenerating the community. This is a community where jobs are scarce, where people have been devastated by the fires and the floods, and anything we can do to regenerate that, bring people into the community, really will help us.
The other aspect is accessibility and affordability. For a lot of people, making their way into the city to attend a concert is just way out of the realms of possibility. To have that available here in the Valley is just such a fantastic opportunity for everybody.
We got feedback like, I would never have thought I could have heard a symphony orchestra in St Albans. And these are people who have either never been to a symphony orchestra or have never been exposed to that kind of music. And the feedback we got was absolutely phenomenal.
The other aspect is meeting new people, and it was there that I met Kay, and now looking forward to doing a little bit more work together down the track. So that's amazing.
My name's Diana Furnival. I live here in the McDonald Valley. I love being part of this community, and this community has gone through an incredibly hard time in the last 3 years. We've had 7 floods in the last 3 years. 4 were last year. One of those was the largest flood in 70 years. And on this block, which has not had water in that 70 years, we removed 180 tonne of sand off this block. It caused immense damage throughout the village of St Albans and the larger McDonald Valley. The community was worn out after that, the Gospers Mountain fire, 2 years of COVID. We were just, in every way, we were exhausted and looking for respite, looking for ways to connect, looking for opportunities to come out in the sunshine and have fun as opposed to constantly cleaning up or constantly battling. The market was born out of that. The market was born out of a desire to give local small business, and I'm talking micro business here, give them an opportunity to come together, bring visitors back to the valley, because this is a day trip or a weekender destination for northwest Sydney, but that had disappeared in the natural disasters that were going on. Did I mention 2 years of COVID? I forgot that one. It was an incredibly hard time to launch the market, and we've done it, but we've done it on the back now of grant funds that have been absolutely vital in creating that critical mass that you can build a market around. You need 2 things. You need stallholders. You need customers. You need a reason for them to come 21 kilometres past Wiseman's Ferry. Why would you go that far? You've got to give them a destination to come to. And the grant funds have been absolutely wonderful, pivotal. Today we've got a mechanical bull ride. We've had Shetland pony rides. We've had feature creature reptiles, with people with snakes around their shoulders and photo opportunities. We've had animal farms. The list goes on. We've had musical entertainment alongside that. So local musicians have been paid a small amount to come here and perform, which adds to the vibe of the market. We have local community groups at the gate each market, collecting a gold coin donation per adult entry, that they get a ticket in a raffle that is drawn at the end of the day that is made up of a stallholder sample basket. All of these layers are layered on top of the fact that these grants have paid for the entertainment that is the central draw card for stallholders and visitors to make the journey this far. And we are enormously grateful. The organisations that have come in support of the market have seen what a benefit the market is to the local community and offers opportunities for them to engage with local community members. Hawkesbury City Council and Wentworth Healthcare, Council has provided an events grant, and Wentworth Healthcare have provided a bushfire resilience grant. And they have been, quite honestly, this market would not be happening today if they had not been the thing that we can create momentum that gets us from one market to another. And I would encourage anybody who is thinking of doing this to reach out and look for that sort of support, because it's there. It's been a wonderful opportunity for not just the community to benefit, but the people who are bringing their services or their aims and objectives. They've come here and they've participated, and everybody has benefited. The local community has benefited in a number of ways. Obviously, there is the micro businesses that are here. So we've got probably a dozen local stallholders who come to not every market, but across all of the markets. We've got, I think, 4 of them are here today, and the others will all come from outside. That's bringing cash into the economy. It's also bringing connectedness, the ability to exchange ideas, receive information, and just have fun, share a fun day out together. Have the kids have somewhere to come that is safe and enjoyable. Pets on a lead are always welcome. There's always a JP here, which is me, so you can get your documents signed. They're obvious benefits for the community in that way, but the other way is in terms of the services that have come. What you've done is you've normalised reaching out to those community services so that people don't have to make a special effort to get there or single themselves out. They are one of many, and they can see that they are one of many who is reaching out for those services.
My name's Luke Kelly, and I am the president of Ferry Artist Gallery down in Wiseman's Ferry. Ferry Artists is a non-for-profit community gallery. We're volunteer run, and we have a collection of 30 or so artists who showcase all their work in our lovely gallery. The project that we ran was a mural project. So I'm a painter and mural artist, and I've been painting murals in the Hawkesbury for a few years. And I was looking for opportunities to create work in local schools. So we put together a grant application with North Sydney Health Network, and it was a resilience grant in response to the flooding events in 2021 and 2022. So this was a grant that was really designed for promoting mental health and resilience and well-being. The application was a project that was in several stages. So stage 1 was a visit to the school, and myself and 2 other artists visited the school for an afternoon, and we spent the day painting with the students. So that was a fantastic opportunity to get the students' ideas about what they wanted on the mural. We sat out in the gardens in the local school, and there's a family of blue-faced honeyeaters that live in and around the school grounds, and they were there whilst we were out there painting and talking. And that naturally became the subject of a lot of the artwork that we painted that day. So that led on to me then going into the school and painting a water tank, which was a 2.5 metre by 14 metre concrete water tank. And it took me about 2 weeks to paint it. And whilst I was painting the whole project, I had an audience of all the students behind me every day. So I'd be busy painting away, and I'd turn around, and there they'd be watching me make little progress every day. And I had locals who would walk past, and they'd be keeping an eye on me, seeing what I was doing. And eventually the mural took shape, and I painted 3 very large honeyeaters eating grevillea flowers. It was a very colourful, very sort of bright project to work on. So it was really an opportunity for us to re-engage with our lovely village of Wiseman's Ferry and fall in love with it again. So one of the things that was really helpful when we wanted to do this grant is I attended a workshop which was held in Wiseman's Ferry at the retreat, hosted by Hawkesbury Council, and it was really useful to get some very clear and very practical pointers on how to actually apply for grants, because I was a novice as far as grant applications, and the workshop told me basics around how to put the grant application together, what sort of documentation I'd need, letters of recommendation, how to actually frame and word a grant application, because not all grants are tailored to what you want to do. You have to tailor your project to what's available. So there were many things like that that really sort of pointed me in the right direction as far as what I needed to do and how I needed to do it. So as far as outcomes from the project, I spent the month of June painting, so the mural is now finished. So there were several really fantastic things that happened. One was the engagement with all the students, which was great. I had my audience of students watching me every day. I had students bringing me in paintings that they'd done over the weekend, which was incredible just to see them wanting to be creative in response to what I was doing. I had great feedback from parents, teachers, local community members. And it's really been a nice thing as well to put something artistic and colourful on display in Wiseman's Ferry to show that that's a place where creative people live and work. So there's been a really good outcome from everybody. Another fantastic outcome is that we're going to be hosting a community celebration in a couple of weeks, and we'll be getting together all the students and teachers and parents and community members, and we're going to have a sort of unveiling launch event with a big morning tea. So that's going to be a really great event to do.
I'm Robin and this is Michelle, and we're from the Creative Workshop at Bilpin, where we go on a Monday from 11 till 2, and we take our little projects from home and we sit around and eat lots of cake and have morning tea and just have a really fun morning.
We have a wonderful group of women that come from a diverse range of backgrounds and everything in our community. There's a wealth of talent, people that sew, people crochet, people paint, and we have mosaic artists everywhere. And it's a wonderful, safe place for people to come. After the fires and floods and that, there's a lot of people up there that are experience hardships. It's still very emotional for some people, still very raw. And it's a safe place for them to be. And being with other women in that too, we can sit there and talk to each other, whereas maybe they can't do that at home with their partners. And sharing our talent, I mean, that's probably the biggest thing.
We got a grant from Bright Ideas, and with that we did some workshops. So we started off with paint and sip, and we did an oils picture, which was amazing. And then we've done some essential oil workshops as well, and a mosaic where we made a bee bath, which was lots of fun. And then we've also done a bigger acrylics picture.
It was wonderful because it gave people the experience that they may not necessarily be able to have, and it was just wonderful. Everyone had a great time. Everyone learned something. Everyone walked away with an amazing product, and everyone just loved it. It was so good. We were just really happy. We're really, really happy, and we were so thankful to Bright Ideas for putting this in motion and allowing us to be able to do these workshops, because sometimes financially, $20 or something may not be much to someone, but to someone else it might mean the difference between going to a workshop and not going. And we were able to give that to people in our community, and yeah, it was just a great time. Great time.
So I feel it's been really beneficial for our community in that we have a lot of fun. So there's a lot of positive vibes that go around. And for new people that come into our area, it's just a really easy way to integrate into what's going on already and make positive friendships fast in a fun, non-structured environment.
Yeah, especially for new arrivals, like new people moving into the area. When they see something like this, they realise straight away, I've got somewhere I can go and I can start and meet the local people. And honestly, we'll make them feel so much at home. And if they can show us something to do, we'll be really happy as well.
My name's Helen Colajuri, and I am a member, or the secretary, of the Currajong North Richmond Rotary Club. We operate obviously in this area, north of the river, and we try to do as much as we can for community projects. And the biggest project, one of the biggest projects we did last year was the Hannah Park Carols before Christmas, and it was held for the first time, I think, for 2 or 3 years because of floods, COVID, fire. all the different reasons. So we went ahead with that project. Our part of the project for the Hannah Park Carols was we had a cake stall, a craft stall, and our sausage sizzle, which is what Rotary is pretty famous for our sausage sizzles. To run the event, a number of grants were applied for by different organisations. We got a grant from the Wentworth Healthcare. We applied for the grant and got that grant. We got part of the money to start with and part after the end, so we could give them a report on how the event went. We looked at what the needs were, and one of the needs for the area was to get the families coming. So we made the decision that what we'd use it for was to give all the children a free sausage sandwich. So we used the funding that we got to give all the children, but mum and dad, if they wanted it, a sausage sandwich, so they could they come here without worrying we can't take the kids out somewhere because they're going to want us, we haven't got the money. So it meant that the whole event could be catered for the whole broad community. A lot of people could come. A few different outcomes. It was great for us as a group of people. We're only a small community, but for us as a group of people, it was great to do something else as well as the sausage sizzle. We did the boys did the sausage sizzle, the ladies did the craft and the cakes. We learnt something when we did all the cakes and the cookies store. We learnt that you have to list all the ingredients because for health reasons, we didn't want anyone getting sick from our cooking. We sold a lot of our craft things because it got cold and people bought things. But I think one of the big things for our committee or for our club that came out of it was working with all the other organisations. There was one of the RFS, a couple of the scout groups that were here, a few other smaller groups. And that was huge for us to actually have the time to work at an event, not just when we go to Bunnings and sell sausages or somewhere, but we were working with other groups within the community. The Hawkesbury Baptist Church was the instigator or the main leader of the event, and we did a lot of work with them, working through them, just helping the community. They had great ideas for what the community needed, and we followed them. For the community, one of the big outcomes was the great feeling that was here that night of a community being able to do something together. The roads were chock-a-block. To get out of here, to get out of the parking area, it was like there was a traffic jam. So to have that number of people coming back into a big community event, really a great thing for the community, for the Hawkesbury. And a lot of the people came and said, when are we having it next year? Will it be on next year? So I think it wasn't just for the community, it was something that families could come to. It was very, very much a family event that people from all around the community could come with their families and just have a great night out.
My name's Graham Shakespeare. I'm the chairman of Hawkesbury Woodcraft Cooperative.
I'm Steve Bracken. I'm a director for the Hawkesbury Woodcraft Co-op.
We're situated in the old Scout Hall at Wilberforce. That's just out of Windsor, New South Wales. We have about 60 odd members in the club, many retirees that are looking for something to do, many people that have not touched a piece of wood before in their life. So we start from basics, allocate a buddy to them to show them how to start their work and to introduce them to some of the machine. But we do wood turning, we do carving, pyrography, and of course the scroll saws.
The idea came about and discussed with the committee, with the Hawkesbury Woodcraft. It was decided to hold scroll saw classes to be held over a 4-day period. It was to help the broader community to get over the devastating floods that the Hawkesbury area had. So all in all, the idea of holding the classes for the people was a complete success, and it's helped build confidence in the people that have been affected over the years.
The scroll saw workshops really started with an offer from Wentworth Healthcare for grants. We were very lucky to get one of these grants. That helped us provide the attendees with their lunches, with materials to use during the projects, and to a lesser extent some equipment. It was very good that we were able to get that grant. The grant also allowed us to provide 12 months membership to the new attendees and helped us to keep those members on for the rest of the year.
With the outcome of the classes and everything, it has helped the community build their confidence. It's given them an outlet over all the devastation that they have experienced over the last few years. The club is still looking at providing help to the community wherever possible.
And it's brought a lot of interest to the club. Through that, we've got been able to get new members and keep those new members. So it's been very beneficial to the club, and hopefully the community's got something out of it.
Hi, I'm Melanie and I'm a part of Wilberforce United Soccer Club here at Woodlands, Wilberforce. We're a part of the Nepean Football Association and we're a non-for-profit organisation promoting a family-friendly environment for kids and adults to play and learn soccer. Last year in 2022, our season returned after having 2 years of a modified season from COVID. Unfortunately, the season was met with a lot of washout games and ground closures. Our kids came ready to play, but their games were either washed out or rescheduled. We really wanted to celebrate the end of a tough season with a community event that involved all our players and their family. And we really wanted to do something where families could just come, kids could play, have something to eat, and really just bring our community together. We were fortunate enough to receive a grant from Wentworth Healthcare, which enabled us to run our end-of-year celebration successfully. Having access available from these funds enabled us to use local suppliers such as Motivate Sports, Hawkesbury, who were able to come out and run some outside games with our children. They were able to run little mini games of soccer, other ball skills, other fitness things, all on the day. With access to these funds, we were able to put this money back into our local community here in Wilberforce. We were able to use local suppliers to purchase our meat from Munro's Meat Wilberforce, our bread from Wilberforce Bakery. We were able to use our balloon arch from EBJ Party Supplies in Wilberforce, and we were able to then run a barbecue that was accessible to all of our players and their families. Unfortunately, we were unable to use our grounds here at Woodlands at Wilberforce due to the grounds conditions. We were able to use Wilberforce Public School to hold our celebration. It was a fantastic day, the grounds were buzzing, and we saw local community members coming together and just enjoying the year that it was. We had the barbecue going, we had music going, and the kids were all entertained thanks to the entertainment we were able to provide. It was such a great feeling to all be able to come together once again. Our committee is run by a group of volunteers. We are only a small group, and without this funding, we wouldn't have been able to have such a successful day. During 2022, with the ground closures, our opportunities to fundraise were less. We were unsure on how we would be able to fund such an event. Having the grant gave us access to the funds that we required. This took a lot of pressure off our small committee. This meant we could engage in the programs that we wanted to run on the day. It gave us the opportunity to hold the event without having to burden the cost on our club or on our parents. We are very grateful for the grant as it created some fantastic memories for the kids and gave the Wilberforce Soccer Club community the opportunity they deserved, keeping the community spirit alive.
My name's Hayley. I work at PCYC Hawkesbury in Windsor. I'm the activities and sports coordinator, and we run a whole bunch of activities aimed at getting the youth and the kids in the community active and moving. We ran an outreach program that was aimed at getting kids that are in rural areas, specifically those that were affected by the natural disasters such as the fires a couple of years back, aimed at getting them active and social and giving activities a go that they wouldn't normally get to do. So in January and April, we took our services from Windsor up to Colo Heights. In January, we did 3 days. We offered activities for kids aged 5 to 12, and we pretty much just brought them a whole range of stuff. So we brought laser tag and basketball, skateboarding, arts and crafts, colour runs, all those kinds of things, and ran activities that were for free from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. It allowed the kids to get social, reconnect with their community, and also the parents were able to connect with each other again. You know, at drop off, they'd say, "Oh my gosh, hi, I haven't seen you in so long." And it was really good getting those kids out there, getting them active. And then we did a similar thing in April, however it was only 2 days. Again, 5 to 12-year-olds. It was mainly the same kids again. And we just got them active and doing things both outside and inside. No matter what the weather did, they were happy. They got to do things that they normally don't get to do. The grant we received was the Community Wellbeing and Resilience Grant from Wentworth Healthcare. And this grant allowed us to take all of our activities and resources and staff that we would usually use down here in Windsor up to Colo Heights, where those kids can't access things like that because it's too far away. So we were able to bring all of our resources that we wouldn't normally be able to bring due to financial reasons, being a charity, take them up there without worrying about the burden on what that would cost to us as a club or our staff on their own terms or the community themselves, and it allowed us to offer these activities for free and not have people worrying about the cost or how they're going to make it work or any worries like that. Gaining access to this grant and running this program in Colo Heights allowed us to see what the community might need and reach the community further away from us, reach those people that are hard to reach and understand what they may be going through and what challenges they might face and how we can help them from our end. This grant has also provided the community itself with huge benefits. The community suffered big time when we had the floods, we had the fires. It created a massive divide in the community, and it saw a lot of the families disconnected, the children disconnected, and providing this activity has brought them back together. It's brought the kids back together. It's given them a chance at social activities. It's brought the families back together. It's also shown the community what PCYC does and what we can do for them. We've had families who have come to join our Fit for Life programs, which is a Tuesday morning program free for kids before school. Allows them to get active, get breakfast, then we take them to school and it gets them social, gets them moving, make sure they're eating a healthy breakfast. And we've had a couple of families join in on this activity. We've had families join in on our regular school holiday activities. And so it's proven to be really beneficial for both the community and our club itself.
My name's Brigitte and I'm part of the Colo Heights Community Tennis Group. Our project a few years ago was to get community members out to join in some activities and some social events. We received a community resilience grant after the bushfires from Wentworth Healthcare to help us begin this group, to start to purchase balls, to pay for court fees and to pay for sausages and bread, which we place on our wood-fired barbecue that's been there for a lot of years, and we stand around the fire and talk about community activities, what we've done for the day, and play a bit of tennis. The outcome for the group has been a great success. We sometimes have over 30 people turn up after work in work clothes. We have some children come along, we have dogs come along that all play, and we stand around and have a lovely barbecue, sausage sizzle, and it gets a lot of people out of the house and creates a lot of new meetings between people. The outcome for the community is one of coming together and talking about a lot of things, helping each other out, helping elderly people come out and socialise, and I think the community's got a lot out of it, and it's then also led to the revamping of the Progress Association.
My name's Lyle Dicker. I'm the president of the Colo Heights Progress Association. It's only been running for about 9 months now on the revamp of it. We've been going pretty good now, and we've got a proactive committee that works hard for events and dealing with issues around the local community. We've had a couple of good events lately. Yesterday was the first market day, and I've got to say it was a total success. Everything's gone well. We got a couple of teething problems to get through, but when we do, we can iron them out for next year. We were fortunate enough to get a grant from Hawkesbury Council through the Bright Ideas program, which really did kick us along a bit. We had a few things we had to get through with insurances and whatnot, and it helped us out with the all the tennis things that we needed, like balls, tennis rackets, whatnot. We've tidied up a few things there in the hall, and it's been very positive. as far as the committee goes, I'm really, really happy with it all. I think it's working fine. Everybody's putting in their 2 cents worth, and it's all voluntary. And we're all doing it just for the community. The outcome's been a great get-together thing. I've got neighbours that I know of and I've hardly ever spoke to because you never see them. Because as much as they're close, they're still far away. But when you get on a Tuesday night, we go up to the tennis. That's been really, really good. We can we socialise, we get together. It's simply getting together. And it's just turned into something really good now for the community, and I'm really proud of where we're at today.
Hi, my name is Yara Hanlon-Smith. I'm the president of the Upper Colo Association. We recently started this organisation and it's been fantastic. The Upper Colo Association received sponsorship from the Bright Ideas Sponsorship Program through Hawkesbury City Council, funded by Wentworth Healthcare. With this funding, we're now working towards more community projects, bringing the community together. And the first thing that we've done with our money so far is bought a nice new banner to advertise the Upper Colo Association that we are using at our first event, where we've used to put it up behind our tent. We were giving away free plants that are donated by the Hawkesbury Community Nursery. The Upper Colo Association was originally started to join forces with the local community to create a combined, stronger voice within our local community and outside of that. So making connections with council, with local members, with councillors, lots of different ways of bringing resilience to the local community, getting repairs, getting support in every which way that we could. By creating the incorporated association, we absolutely made our voice matter more, and we could stand up as a combined community and get the help that we need. Our combined voice has been pivotal in the outcomes for the local community members. Things like this bridge, the locals have been able to have some input into the finer details at the end and at the beginning. But with our association, we've been able to help locals go to members of Parliament and Council. And I know that just little details like the bridge at the other end, they've actually removed one of the timbers that was in place that was limiting the length of vehicles that could cross the bridge. So community had a voice, community's voice was respected, and I think the association had a lot to do with that. The other thing that's happened is things like the events today. Up there is an amazing group of people that have put together the event for us. The Upper Colo Association has been able to work with council and give away free plants and free food and stuff like that. Locals are able to come to me or to the association or local committee members and put forward their ideas, and we can go to council with those relationships that we've formed. We can actually get an end result. So there are major projects that are still in the works. So we've had some huge amount of work done on the Colo recently, more than that's ever happened before. But now, because we've developed those relationships, we know that there's people we can go to keep working on new projects. So like toilets here at the bridge, or bins in different places, or extra works on road maintenance. So it's absolutely helped our local community members get heard.
Hi, I'm Mel. And I'm Louise. And we're from Pitt-Town and District Sip and Stitch. And we formed a little group of school mums who wanted to get together on a Friday and learn crocheting and have a cup of coffee, tea and a chat. And it worked out really well.
Yeah, it was really great because we got to have some us time and do some things that we wanted to do instead of the kids wanting to do. And it was just a bit of self-achievement to actually learn to crochet and make something and finish something and see what you've actually made. It was really good.
Neither of us had any skills in crocheting at all. And after COVID, it was really good to get back out into the community and learn a new skill, which helped with brain fog and just getting back into life in general. And then we found that a lot of people within the community started to sit with us and join in, and we had a whole group of different ages coming together on a Friday morning just for a chat and a crochet and a get together. So it was a really great community involvement that we received from our little Friday morning catch up with school mums to, having about 10 of us.
And it was great too because you could bring the kids along as well. So you didn't have to worry about babysitters or whatever. They were happy to come along and they'd join in and do some colouring in. And
have a donut and a milkshake.
Yeah, have a donut and a milkshake. So it was really good.
Our first community project was Anzac Day Poppies, And that really inspired the community to get behind what we were trying to do. And it encouraged people who were at home, who might have been unable to exit the house or unable to come out, to be able to support our local Anzac Day Association and produce a really great memorial for our veterans and servicemen and women. We started to think, what were we going to do with all our goods that we had lovingly created? We wanted them to go back to the community, and we didn't really want them in a cupboard or collecting dust. So we reached out to Diane Russell from Hope for You, who organises the Hawkesbury Suicide Prevention, which is an amazing resource. And it just fitted really well with our purpose and our goal to help the community and to come together just to help people re-enter the community after being in isolation.
That day, we went to the Hope for You walk, where she had a walk to raise money for and to make aware of all that she does. And we set up a little stall of our crocheted goods, and people coming and donating money in the money box for them, and we ended up raising a few $100s.
We had blankets. We also had little head that we'd crochet, and they were really to help anyone with anxiety. The whole psychology behind touching and feeling, especially with kids with anxiety who might be at school or going to the doctor for immunisations. Our little, we called them potato heads, ended up being the most popular thing we could ever have sold and raised for Hope for You. We also had wiggly worms and
the worry worms that you put in your bed as well.
Yep, they were the same sort of idea behind those to help with anxiety. So from there, we met Hawkesbury Council, who wanted to support us and help us grow, and they suggested we get on board with their Bright Ideas incentive, and were able to offer us some funding to help us grow our group. It's been really incredible. The funding has enabled us to have a resource of a local community hall where we started to use on the weekends to help with space issues that we were having at our local cafe. We've also recently started doing kids craft workshops, which have been fantastic and so popular. So the funding means that we can actually grow that now and do more workshops within the school holidays and provide an additional service within our community.
Funding also helped us with the poppy work that we did for Anzac Day as well. We used that money to make up packs, little pack that we left at the pharmacy, and it included a pattern to crochet, the yarn to make the poppies, so people would come and go and pick up their little packs. So that was really encourage people to get in with it as well.
It's just really helped us bridge the gap within the community that everybody can be involved, whether they're in person or in the privacy of their own home. They don't have to be bombarded with charitable information, but they can also feel like they're contributing to what we're trying to encourage.
Yeah, and we feel like a little community ourselves now, don't we? Like we really have this little community, and all the older generation, they just love to come and have some friends and hang out and have a cup of coffee and just feel like they're part of something.
They've all made new friendships, I think, as well, which is fantastic, that they haven't had to go out into Richmond or further, that it is their own central little hub in Pitt Town for arts and craft. They're constantly saying how they've made new friends, and our group is growing every Friday. We're getting more and more people involved.
After we did the poppies, we were trying to think up another community project to do. So I think Louise came up with the Granny Square project. So we decided what yarn to use, what hooks to use, and they were 25 by 25 squares.
We actually made up a yarn bin, and we left it at Pitt Town Pharmacy, where people can come in and either leave unwanted yarn, because we had a lot of people who were getting in contact donating stuff. And then you could also take yarn with you with the pattern and help us to crochet up granny squares for the community. And after our Anzac Day project, we were just so blown away by everybody's involvement in that. And we really wanted to encourage the community to continue with that we didn't want it to be just a one-off project. We wanted it to continue going for anyone who wanted to be involved in it and who needed that companionship.
It really brought the community in again.
And it just keeps growing.
Yeah. I hope you're inspired by the stories in this film. It's a story of how we connect, be involved and belong in the Hawkesbury. It's how we build resilience every day, not just for the next disaster. It's how we make connections with each other in our community. There are over 320 different groups across the Hawkesbury: community groups, interest groups, arts and culture, car clubs, sporting groups. If you'd like to be involved in a group, you can contact us at the community team at council, or you can go to your local library or search online at the library and look at the community directory. Or you can go to the webpage My Health Connector and find a group for you. If you're part of a group already and have a bright idea, something you may have seen in this film that might have inspired you, you can contact us at the community team. Thank you.